Hello everyone, and welcome to another guide to, well, it's not another, it's a new one. It's a guide to candle spells. And what I'm hoping is that this could be the start of like a little mini series. We'll come to that in a minute. So the idea for this came because our lovely Rachel, in her Practical Candle Magic book, gives us a template for undertaking spells. And it's a guideline, it's a base for working from. And I would say that if you were to ask most witches what would be their most popular form of spell, it would be candle spells. And that's what triggered me to actually think, well, I could do a little introductory one. Now, as you know, when I say little or short, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be little or short, because I waffle and I apologise for that. But yeah, this is like an introductory, just giving you the basics. And then what I would quite like to do with your help is do like a little mini series. So in the comments below, if you would like me to do a specific spell, so a protection spell, success, prosperity, just put it in the comments and then I'll see what I can do using this template, because it is very, very useful. The thing is, candles, virtually all of us have got candles of some kind around, and they are just so easy, effective to work with. So the steps that Rachel gives us are to firstly choose what you're going to use. So you can keep it really, really simple and just have a candle. You can keep it as simple as that. You're obviously going to need a candle holder and you're going to need something to light your candle with. But you can just keep it as simple as that. So you're going to choose your candle. You're going to choose a white one that covers everything. Are you going to choose a coloured one? Are you going to choose a spell candle or one of these pillar candles? I picked this up quite recently. Quite nice, this one. It's got the moon phases on. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to use that one on yet. But yeah, you can get these ones. You can get the larger pillar candles. You can get tea lights. They even do big tea lights. So yeah, choose your candle, choose the colour. If that's what you want to do, you can just use the candle. However, then you can add layers to your spell if you have time and you want to. So depending on your spell, you might do it on a certain day, you might do it at a certain time of the day. If you work very strongly with the moon, you can wait for the moon phase. If you need it done quickly, then you can use the phases of the sun. So new moon, new sun, sunrise, full moon, midday, waning moon, afternoon. You get the drift. And if you've read Rachel's books, then you know how to actually transfer moon times over into sun times. So as I say, you might do it on a certain day, you might do it at a certain time of the day. You might want to add crystals. You might want to add an oil to go with your intent. You might want to add herbs, spices, flowers, seashells, buttons, pictures. Once you have all your items together is when you would actually then cleanse them and charge them. And I have done another blog and another one of these on YouTube about charging and why you charge and how you charge. items for spell work. So you can pop over there and have a look at if you need a reminder or if this is new to you. Basically, you are charging them because everything will have their own energy, that hopefully you've picked the energies that will meld together. But you want to tell the items what you want them to do. Otherwise, they'll just sit there and say, well, this is quite nice. Out for the day. Yay. But they won't know what to do. You have to, by charging them, you are instructing them, you are guiding them, you are telling them what you want them to do. The other thing you may do, if you've got spell candles or even tea lights, could do it in this one as well, is carve a symbol or sigil or rune or ogham corresponding with your intent. If you're using oil, as I say, you dress the candle. Tend to use an old makeup brush for that, because you don't, less is more with any of these things. Although you can roll, once you've dressed especially if you're using something like the spell candle, if you dress them with the oil and then roll them in the herbs or spices or whatever you're using, don't have too many to roll, because otherwise you end up with something that looks like a burrito, and then when you set light to it, woof, you could end up with more fire than you'd actually anticipated. Unless that's particularly what you want to do and you have a fire extinguisher handy, less is more. So only a little bit of oil, only a few herbs. I tend to just sprinkle, so if I was using a spell candle, I'd sprinkle them round the base. If I'm using something like a tea light, big tea light, very glad to have found these, or this, then I would just sprinkle a few in the top, but I wouldn't layer it too much because of the risk of fire. And as those of you that know me know, I do love a good fire, but I like it where it's meant to be, not taking my house down. What else can you use? You can use tarot cards, you can use oracle cards. For today's purposes, I'm going to be using the Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen Farmer. And you can have a petition paper where you've written down what you want to do. Okay? All of your items cleansed, all of your items charged with your intent. And then you set yourself up in a nice quiet area where you can do your working. Or if you're in a group, you set it up as a group. But candles are just so easy, doesn't cover it, because they're not easy. No spell is easy. It takes intention, it takes time. Even just a basic one, just using a candle and nothing else. You still have to focus on it. You still have to, if you want to, you can make up a chant to go with it. Or just a few words. If you're into the hoodoo, then you might know a psalm that particularly goes with it, or part of, something out of the Bible that goes with it. That's if you're into hoodoo. But yeah, there's layers of intent, layers to add to what you're doing. So that's me waffling, and as you can tell, I'm already probably well over my time for this. What I'm going to try and do, very techie, is and as you know from the one that I did on bells, I have a separate camera, thanks to Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. So yeah, I'm still playing with it, so please bear with me if I, if you lose me altogether, I will be back. But yeah, my idea is that I am going to try and show you a basic working where you can actually see it and not just see me doing and then putting it down. So that's my plan. Let's see if this works. Ooh, yes, excellent. So you've charged all your items. They're all here. They're all ready. This particular spell, as I'm doing a spell, I just thought I would make use of showing you and doing at the same time. And this is for, I'm doing a spell for the oceans and world's waters for cleansing and appreciation, because I don't think as a whole, us as a human race, particularly appreciate just how important all of these things are. So I have this little handy gadget. I picked this up in a charity shop. It is a candle holder, by the way. And I just find it easier. So if I was using a tea light, which I could do on there quite easily, could use the big one as well, or spell candle. If I was using spell candle, I would need to make sure that I warmed the bottom of the base to make sure that, I'm just going to move that a bit closer, so that it was warm and soft, so it would fit and wouldn't fall over, because otherwise, and as I said, you need to be careful with these things. But for this, I think I'm probably going to use my tea light. The reason I like these is because they have this. Saves on the mess. It's like herbs and flowers in baths. I really can't be doing with all of that loose stuff floating around and getting stuck to me and then trying to pick it off afterwards. Plus it all going down the drain. So even in a herb bath, I will put it all in an organza bag, so it's all collected up together. And that's what I like about these, is that you can just put your herbs around the edge quite happily without it being too spread out. So I have my petition and I have my card, which I'll just try and position so that you can see that. So that's the card. It says ebb and flow, but it's the ocean that I'm particularly interested in using for this particular spell work. So I'm just going to clear out some of that so that we know we are using what we are using. And I have a tattoo needle from the lovely Susie Edwards Goose, who's done all my tattoos. But this is the one that I'm using at the moment for my sigils and different bits and pieces. So on here, I'm drawing waves and hearts. Sorry, you won't be able to see the sigils very clearly, if at all. For peace and love and appreciation. For peace and love and appreciation. For peace and love and appreciation. I'm going to pop that there. I'm then going to get some of my oil, and I've chosen a rose oil because rose is very connected to water, corresponds with water and love and care and harmony. And as I said, you do not need masses of this at all. So just so that you can definitely, I think I was so busy watching what I was doing, I didn't. So yeah, literally just dip the brush in and then brush against the side. You don't need huge amounts of oil unless you want to have a pyrotechnic display. And then I'm going to go around clockwise 3 times. Just like that. And then put that safely out the way. Herbs. What herbs would I like to use? Rose. As I said, rose, very much related to water and care and love and appreciation. I'm not a great one for chants. I like talking as I'm doing, so I'm talking. So while I'm talking, I'm actually sending that energy into what I'm preparing. I'm then going to use some sandalwood as well. Just some little bits, just around. Can you see that? Little bits of red sandalwood. Just around the edge. Again, because sandalwood is linked, corresponds with water and with care and support and love. So once you've done those, what you can do is you can hold your hands over them just to give them that extra little boost of your energy. That's it. And if you are using a tarot card or an oracle card, you'd place that above, like that. Actually, I'll do it the way I'm doing it because that would make more sense for me rather than doing it to the camera. So yeah, I'm doing this. So this is me putting this above. Your petition paper, you've got choices whether you can fold it and pop it under the candle if you want, or you can set light to it and burn it in a safe receptacle. I'm going to today actually place it under my candle. And for people that know me, they're thinking, okay, what's wrong with her? Because I do normally like setting fire to everything possible. But in this occasion, for this reason, I just feel that I need to pop it underneath. I might burn it later, but at the moment I feel that it needs to be under the candle. If you're using crystals, so I've chosen a quartz crystal. I could have gone with blue lace agate. What was the other one I was thinking of? Actually, it was some Larimar. But this is the one that jumped out at me when I was preparing for this. So there we go. Nice. And then I've got some seashells that I'm just going to position the way I feel they need to be positioned. Like that. A light. My candle. And then just repeat that this is for the oceans, for their support and their love, and for cleansing them and showing appreciation for what they actually provide for us. If you've got a chant, you could chant. And this is the point where you need to visualize what your intention is. So I am visualizing the oceans being free of those plastic lakes and the beaches not being covered in plastic, because we as a human race have stopped throwing everything away and thinking that if we can't see it, it's gone. If you want, you can hold your hands. Again, just directing the energy while you're visualizing. So there we have it. I'll put that back onto there so you can still see. There we go. So that's my working. Now there are ways of carrying this through. So if you wish to, you could wait until the candle has burnt down, and then the herbs and if there's any wax left over in the candle or the actual tea light like I'm using, you could just bag that all up and put it in the waste bin, trash. Cleanse the other items, obviously, because you may want to reuse them at some stage, so you would cleanse them from this working. And as I say, there is another blog about that. So yeah, so you can let your candle burn down. However, if you are using one of those, or even one of these big tea lights, or a bigger candle, these spell candles tend to burn down in 20 to 30 minutes, so they're quite quick. A tea light takes about 4 hours. You don't want to leave them unattended, which is why, if you're going to leave it to burn down, which I am this one, but I am going to be around for the rest of today, so it's fine. You could use a birthday candle because they last 5 or 10 minutes at most. But yeah, if you're going to leave it to burn down, make sure that you are around for it. If for any reason something happens that you have to, like if you're using a tea light, because they don't really light that well. These ones do, but the little ones don't. So if you suddenly get called away, then you need to and snuff it out. Or use a snuffer if you've got a snuffer. I didn't bring mine. So yeah, I tend to lick my finger and thumb and snuff it out. And then I would dispose of it. This, because I know that this light wouldn't relight. I've never been able to relight tea lights. Small tea lights, that is. However, as I say, if you're using larger ones or larger pillar candles or these ones, then you can actually leave it for a certain period of time, your choice how long, and then snuff it out. Don't blow it, you're snuffing. You're containing the energy. When there are different ways of thinking about this. For this particular way of working, I would say snuff. If that's not the way you work, then you go with you. It's fine. And then do the same tomorrow. So say half an hour, 15 minutes, doesn't matter. But tomorrow, relight it. Do the visualization. Direct your energy into it for 15, 30 minutes. Snuff it out again. And do that for as long as you want to, until you feel that the spell has done its thing. And then dispose of whatever's left over. As I say, this is now going to be left for today because I'm around, unless anything else interesting happens, which I haven't heard yet. So yeah, so I do hope that this is useful and that it makes sense. Please leave comments so that if you want me to, obviously it's not compulsory, I can actually do some spells that you would like me to do, because otherwise you're just going to get some. I'll tell you that now. I am going to be doing some, but I would like to do the ones that people have asked for, rather than the ones that I just think, oh, I'll do a success spell. Oh, I'll do a prosperity spell. I'll do a friendship spell. It would be nice to interact with you and actually do some that you've asked for. So yeah, like I said, hope this is useful. I will see you again, and everyone have a good day.